So you've got overstood coppice. It's been standing too long and is now too big to be any use. Do you leave it as it is? Or do you cut it? And if you cut it, you need to protect it. Basically, because this. Chap came up here, end of last coppice season, felled and decked this and spent quite a lot of time doing it. And something's happened and he hasn't been able to come in and work it up. So he's got no product out of this. It's down and it's lying, and this is what's happened to the stools. Let's look at this one. A lot of the regrowth has been eaten by Bambi. On the edge here. This bit in the middle has mostly got away. Bambi's reached in and snapped that one off. Those have got away, alright. So it's okay, isn't it? Those have sort of got away, they're a bit short. That one over there's done nicely. This one over there is alrightish. And most of them, a quarter to a third of the height they should be, given one decent growing season, which this last season was. And it's very, very likely that some of the stools, like this one, better go and check that it is a stool. It's likely that some of the stools will have died. So you've got good stool density and good stem density per stool. And by doing this and not protecting it, that's not a stool, it's a plant. But I'll still maintain there are stools in here which will have died. And this one's on the way out. You see it? See how short it is? So by doing this, you have damaged your coppice. You have reduced the possibility that it will ever be decent coppice again. Some would argue that there are not enough people still living to make a decent living out of coppice who were able to put in the hard work to make it worthwhile to keep resources such as this. This resource has built up on this site since at least 1600. This wood has been coppiced, been worked for hazel since then. And it might go back quite a lot longer. Some of the stools in here are truly humongous. Stool here, you see it? Chewed to pieces. And that one. 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 What is needed is for the UK government to get its head out of its collective arse and to support coppice. Why should they support coppice? Because coppice is valuable. It creates habitat which is not found in areas of woodland like this or newly planted woodland. It captures carbon at a far faster rate than newly planted woodland, because these stools, many of them, are truly ancient. Is this a separate stool to that one and that one? Are all these the same stool? So you've got part of a ring, and this one over here. And how about these two here? If you walk through here, there are more of these enormous stools. I think these stools are much older than things like that. See the oak? Compared with these stools, that's a young tree, and that's maybe 200 years old. So, this is why we need to cut coppice, for nature conservation value, and also because with a little bit of input, a little bit of long-term input that's targeted, we could actually support people to make their living at a scale that is appropriate to the best nature conservation outcomes for woods like this. And this is a farm woodland, and like most farm woodlands, this is small and it's isolated. It's isolated by farmed land which is not very good habitat for the species which live in woodland. And you've got a resource here for nature conservation which you could not reproduce by planting farmed land with trees of the same species in 10 generations. And that, I think, is extremely important, and I think that deserves support and deserves input. And so far, whatever political stripe of government we've had, they've consistently failed to address this issue. And I think this issue is going to become even more important as time goes on. But you cry, rewilding is the way to go. But if you just leave this to do what it does, with all the deer in this site, it's going to lose biodiversity. It is losing biodiversity now. The deer are eating everything on the ground, except for species which are poisonous, like foxglove, digoxin, or unpalatable, like this, which I think is a musk thistle. And the woodlands in this area, due to the actions of the deer, are becoming reduced to a lowest common denominator as far as nature conservation biodiversity is concerned. Right, I'll shut up now. Let's walk back through here and we can give you a little bit of a view of some more overstood coppice with some truly expert stools. Sorry about the wibbly wobbly camera work, I fell in a hole. But don't get me wrong, this is nice to walk through, nice to walk your dog through. Whereas the regrown stuff over there, which is excellent bird nesting habitat, with all the coppice regrowth and all the bramble, is almost impossible to walk through unless you're a masochist. But the deer are through there all the time. They trundle through there, and this is an area where they actually lie up. A little earlier I saw a deer, and she went back into there.